Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to Gashi's Kaman TV. Is there a deliberate effort to delay the 2027 general elections? When you look at the way the Iebc is being reconstituted, from the beginning, there seems to be a deliberate effort to delay the reconstitution of Iebc and therefore delay the 2027 general elections. Put in a different way, the elections are supposed to be held as per the 2010 Constitution every second Tuesday in August in every fifth year. And this one put squarely the next general election to be August 10th, 2027. When you look at our constitution, we need to pose one question. Can elections be postponed? Who has the power to postpone the elections? Article 102, Section 2 of the Kenyan Constitution clearly states that Parliament can postpone the election for not more than 6 months in case the country is at war. But now because the country is not at war, Parliament has no power to postpone the elections. However, Iebc has also been given powers to postpone elections in some parts of the country should there be maybe natural calamities like disasters, or for example, if the logistics does not allow, or if, for example, there is civil strife, and we saw it when the Iebc in 2022 delayed elections in some places. Ladies and gentlemen, are we going to have elections in 2027, 10th August, as I've clearly stated? When I look at the situation, I think somebody may decide to go to court and actually stop the 2027 general elections. And this could be deliberate. Already, some people are in court saying that the way the commissioners were appointed, the way the chairman was nominated, was not something that was transparent. And when you look at the way the courts delays these cases, you agree with me that we may not have elections in 2027. Because you see, the case is in a high court. Then from there, somebody can appeal and go to the Court of Appeal. And now from the Court of Appeal, it can go to the Supreme Court. Ladies and gentlemen, what does that mean? It means the following: that Iebc will not have sufficient time to prepare for the elections. Remember, some activities that are supposed to be carried out by Iebc are already behind us. In fact, Iebc is behind schedule. I want to give just an instance whereby the boundaries determination was supposed to take place in March 2024. So more than 1 years behind us. Iebc has not carried out this activity. What does this mean? Because you see, the constituency boundaries and the ward boundaries are supposed to be actually reviewed between 8 and 12 years. This one tells you that somebody again can go to court and say they are not properly represented, and therefore the election can be cancelled. There is also this issue I saw when Iebc appeared before a committee of parliament, and they came up with outrageous budget of 61.7 billion for them to conduct 2027 general elections. They require 61.7 billion. This is too much if you ask me. And I want us to look at the reason why, in my view, the elections is not, the election date is going to be interfered with, and the government could be actually be behind this. That's my view. Number one, why the government could be behind this. You know, the government has become very, very unpopular. Members of parliament have become very unpopular. And I'll start by asking you this question. Can you vote for your member of parliament? If elections are to be held today, would you vote for him? Let me frame the question in a different way. Because this is what I think could also be delaying the elections, or why there could be a deliberate effort to delay the elections. If you are told to recall your member of parliament and you are told to sign for a recall, would you sign? Many people would sign. Because one of the reasons why there could be a deliberate effort to delay the elections is the fear of recalls, the fear of by-elections. Because I'm looking at the people. People are very angry. People do not now agree with the members of parliament. They feel that their members of parliament do not represent them properly. You know, they are supposed to be represented by the members of parliament. But when you look at it, there is that gap between the members of parliament and the electorate. Number two, in my view, there is a strong wave about one term. In fact, number one trending issue today on X is one term. The greetings today is one term. This one tells you that William Samoei Ruto would be the greatest beneficiary if elections are to be held. This one tells to be postponed. That is, this one tells you that for William Samoei Ruto and the government, the 2027 general election date is not very attractive to them. It is not attractive at all, at all, at all. There is also this idea of maybe having a government of national unity, or what I would call transitional government. Because you see, if the logistics do not allow the election of 2027 to be held in August, definitely we are going to have a transitional government, whereby the leaders of the opposition, Akina Kalonzo, Akina Matiang'i, Akina Kashagwa, they'll be called on the table, and they will agree on how to form the government. But this one has to go through parliament. Remember, parliament can amend the constitution. It can amend the constitution, and because parliament has been given power to even postpone elections, but although there's no war, there'll be no war, I think on the same vis, if the logistics do not allow elections, if you will not be having Iebc, tell me how you are going to conduct elections. Because these delays in courts, this one can take even 5 years. So it is possible even to have elections in 2030 or beyond. Because these disagreements, Kenya needs to ask, who are these people who are going to courts to stop the reconstitution of Iebc? And what is their vested interest? On who is benefiting? These are the questions that Kenyans need to ask themselves. Again, I think Parliament will be so happy to extend its term limits. To be very, very happy. Because many are the times that we have elections and more than 70% are not elected back to Parliament. And because power is very sweet, and because money is also very sweet, I think they would enjoy and they would be very, very happy if we don't have elections in 2027. And this delay, by the way, could be meant maybe to give room to manipulate the electoral laws and maybe come up with some laws that are friendly to some leaders, some candidates. Because as when I look at the election law, there's that law that the polling station results are final. The elections results that are announced at the polling station are final. And maybe somebody would like to come up with a way whereby they can manipulate such laws and maybe say the results that are announced by Iebc are final. And the ones that are announced at the polling station may be put to the periphery. So, ladies and gentlemen, when I look at the way the reconstitution of Iebc is being carried out, you agree with me that even the commissioners, if they were to go to office today, I think 2 years is too just short a time. Remember, we are almost 3 years and 1 year before campaign. There are so many activities that are supposed to be carried out by Iebc. One of the activities, they need this procurement of Kim's kits. When are they going to do it? They also need to clean the register, the voters register, to remove people who are dead, to remove people who are there, and they call it cleaning the register. They also need to, in fact, they have never published the results of the last general elections and review what happened. They are supposed to do it, by the way, and they are also supposed to bring somebody to come and audit the election register before we go to the election. So there are so many things that need to be done. Will time allow? And then you tell me there's no deliberate effort to delay elections? And I think it is high time that we have a candid discussion about the 2027 general election, just for the sake of our beautiful country, by the way. Because if the elections will not be held in 2027, they can bring so many problems. So many problems. So if I were asked, I would ask the opposition and the government to sit down and come up with a way forward. Because without that, I foresee a situation where we are likely to be on a constitutional crisis. If you find yourself in a constitutional crisis, how we are going to move out of that place, I don't know. But sometimes it calls for duty for the opposition and the government to put the country first. And when these guys go to court, one thing I realized that the court actually is so ready, so much willing to stop the reconstitution of Iebc. Usually, when such a thing happens, there are so many forces that are at play, and there's so much vested interest. But all said and done, power belongs to the people as per the 1020 Constitution. Otherwise, have a lovely day. Please like the video, comment, and share, and let me know what you think about this election. Bye-bye.